Ian Poulter and the Ryder Cup, which is considered one of the coolest competition in golf. It's Team USA versus Team Europe. Um, it's said that, well, he said it himself. I've inflicted, which is Ian Poulter. That's who this episode is about in Full Swing, season one, episode three. Ian Poulter says, I've inflicted a lot of pain to the Americans because I haven't lost. I've never lost in singles. And because of that, the Ryder Cup, they love him. He's the favorite. I'm pretty sure that they give him a lot of incentives and benefits to come every year, and I'm pretty sure that he just wants to go because he enjoys it. Ian Poulter is extremely brave on the golf course during the Ryder Cup. He is celebratory. He is flamboyant in his outfits and his personality. He even says it himself. I don't want to be a golfer because he wants his own personality. I don't want to just be a golfer. And even on the Netflix documentary, he introduces himself. He says, "Hey, I'm Ian Poulter, and I'm a wannabe golfer." That's how he introduces himself. He does have a huge personality, which is one of the reasons why I found it, really funny. This episode number three, was really, really funny. And his personality is not necessarily with him speaking or moving his body, in an animated sort of way. He expresses it through his clothing. Yeah, his clothing. So his outfits, some of the commentators have some really funny, um, comments about his outfits. One of them said, "I'm sorry, folks, those shoes disturb me." And then they have the cameras literally zoom in while Ian Poulter kneels down and ties his untied shoelace. And then there's another commentator that comments about his pants. Oh, there are several comments about his pants. One of them were, his pants would work as wallpaper in a hallway bathroom, and it was bright red, like a stop sign red, with white figures on his pants on the golf course. And that was really, really funny. As a matter of fact, it was so funny that when I watch these, I take notes, but I can't really take notes because I just want to watch it and enjoy the show. So I watch it, enjoy it, and just get, in really deeply immersed in the show. And then I watch it again, and that's when I take my notes. It takes longer, it's about 2 hours, but I definitely enjoy just sitting back and being entertained the first time around. If I just take notes the first time, I'm really not gonna enjoy it with you. You're not gonna really hear my personality through this commentary. So, but anyway, I really do wish you guys would watch it and enjoy it as much as I do. I love this season so far, and I'm only 3 episodes in. It's Netflix's Full Swing, and this one is season one, episode three. All right, so let me continue telling you about what the commentators are saying about Ian Poulter's outfit. The next one is also about his pants. The commentator said, "Somewhere in a Motel 6, the drapes are missing." And yes, his pants did look like some drapes that had like plaid, black, and red. I don't know, maybe there was another color in there. I'm not sure. They're so loud. It's kind of funny, but it's also sort of blinding as well. But it really it really does entertain us while we're watching at home. The next commentator said, that he is a walking gender reveal party in powder blue and pink. And that was the outfit that he wore to the PGA match play in Austin, playing against Matt Fitzpatrick. Oh my gosh, that was really, really funny. As a matter of fact, when he pulled up at the PGA match play in Austin, it was one of my favorite moments because as he was walking in, he as he was walking in, he hugged Paul Casey, and I think Paul either asked him or Ian asked Paul, what happened, and I think one of them said old age, and then and I think Ian Poulter said, I feel you, and then they just sort of hugged each other and had a great laugh walking into the building. And I just thought that was just the best moment of the episode. It was really genuine, a wonderful laugh, a very sincere hug, and I really enjoyed watching that moment. As a matter of fact, I enjoyed it so much. I paused it, rewound it, and then watched it again. You can tell that there is a sincerity between the two, a really good friendship, and I just really wanted the opportunity to recapture that on screen. So I paused it and rewound it and watched it again. And if you guys get a chance, please watch it again. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed that moment as much as I do. All right, so let's talk about some other stuff. As you know, a lot of people, invite him, and he even says it. I, I have my personality, right? I'm not the best golfer, but I get invited back, and it's a business decision for me. The name of the episode is called, Legacy or Money. So, you know, he enjoys going to these things, showing up for his personality, and he doesn't mind getting paid for it. He doesn't take the game of golf too seriously. Yes, he takes it serious enough as a job. For him, it's very serious as a job. He approaches it as a business, and later on, we'll dive more into that. But when he's there, he understands that he has to show up, and part of that um, is, showing, giving the crowd what they paid for, which is bringing forth his personality, at the game of golf. Um, let's see here. Uh, the next thing I want to talk about is oh yeah, his match with Matt Fitzpatrick at the PGA match play in Austin. Okay, so first off, when he gets annoyed or woo at the ball, um, at his golf swing, not hitting the shot, he was not happy. He started yelling at that golf ball, "Oh, you dirty, rotten pig!" That was so funny when he said that. And then it's amazing how he can give a compliment, a backhanded compliment. So he referred to Matt Fitzpatrick. He said he's a stats geek, and I thought, oh my gosh, that's not really a cool, compliment. And then he follows it up with saying, well, since he was 15 years old, he's tracked every shot he's ever made, and that is a huge compliment. That is, to be that precise, uh, that you would do that. And that's also a foreshadowing of success. Someone who is tracking their stats is someone who obviously takes their craft seriously. Someone who analyzes things and predicts outcomes, and who you can tell has a future with success in it. So that was just a great compliment um, to his opponent, and followed up by the stat geek comment. Let's see here. At the end of that, um, when he lost to Matt Fitzpatrick, they shook hands, and Fitzpatrick says, he nearly broke my hand, and he laughed. It was a joke. Of course, Ian Poulter didn't really break his hand, but I imagine that handshake must have been very strong because he lost. As a matter of fact, when he went back to the locker room, he threw a little temper tantrum, a soft, a mild little temper tantrum. He threw his golf clubs across the room. No one was hurt. He did it towards the corner of the room. He was really frustrated because he was really trying to, pave his way to make it to the Masters. He had already lost to Scheffler, and now he was facing Scotty Scheffler, and now he was facing Matt Fitzpatrick, and then he lost to him. So I could imagine that could not have been, a very good experience for him. It was very disappointing. And throughout the entire episode 3, he talks about age. Yeah, he says, I'm not getting any younger. He talks about the flying back and forth between England and the USA. And if his family's not there with him, sometimes he'll fly by himself. And so, he's away from his family. And then if he doesn't win, he doesn't get paid. So I think the word to describe him would be tormented. He's a man that has a lot of things on his mind, and it's distressing for him at times. And it's many things that keeps him up at night. As a matter of fact, I think it keeps him up even during the interview when Netflix was interviewing him. I could see his eyes moving from left to right, up and down, and you can tell he just has a lot of things on his mind. And throughout the series, I'm sorry, throughout the episode, he gives you an idea of what's on his mind, his family, age, money, legacy, which is the name of the episode. And so let me read you the definition of tormented. It says tormented describes experiencing intense mental or physical pain, agony, or severe distress. I don't, he's not in physical pain or agony, but I do believe that he's experiencing intense mental, severe distress. In its past tense of torment, meaning to cause suffering, harass, or plague someone, synonyms include tortured, anguished, plagued, and distressed. I definitely do believe that he is plagued by these things. Um, at the very end, when he went to the PGA Tour Cup in Tulsa, at the very end, he was being interviewed driving to the airport, flying back to England because he had spent 5 days there, and he said it's so infuriating when you lose by one shot. That infuriates you, and I can't imagine. What that's like because I'm not a pro golfer, but I do know what it's like to come very close to something and then thinking you're going to win up until the last moment and then you don't. That can be extremely infuriating. And he said, I'm not away, I'm not with my family, I've been gone for 5 days, I did not get paid, and I don't like working for free. So again, he really is really open to the audience in episode 3. As a matter of fact, he's so open, you get to see his family life. You see his parents, you see his 4 children, you see them sitting around the table eating in the kitchen, cooking as a family. You see them jumping on the trampoline. You see him watching them on the beach. He's playing golf. His son is with him in his closet, his walk-in closet, trying on his sunglasses, and he is, packing his clothes to get ready to, to go to Tulsa. And then you see them on the jet, all playing, putt-putt golf, using a little plastic cup, So he really it does try to, have the cameras, Netflix open up to, his entire family. And I think that fits well with his personality. He brings his personality to golf, and then he gives us a little further, a view of who he is by introducing us to his wife and his children, and then his parents and their home life. So he definitely is, really good about showing us who he is. Let's see here. I'm pretty sure I have some more notes on him. Nope, I think that's it. That's what I wanted to tell you. That's the word that we're going to use to describe Ian Poulter in this episode, Tormented. But as far as his personality overall, it's very fun personality. He, you know, shows you who he is. He sometimes keep his emotions on his shoulders. When he's upset, you know it. As a matter of fact, one of the commentators said, "Oh, always a consummate professional." They were making fun of him because he was cursing the ball. And that's when he made that comment about the ball being the dirty rotten pig. And so, you get to see exactly who he is. And if you guys get a chance, watch this episode. Tell me what you think of Ian Poulter. I think that he's far different from all the other golfers that we have met so far. Let me know if you agree with me or not. Or do you believe he's exactly the same as the other golfers? He's just as serious, just as focused, and that's just a persona for golf. I would love to hear what you think. Let me know if you think the word that I used to describe him in this episode as being fun and open and tormented is the word that you would use to describe him in this episode. Did I do a very good job of that, or do you think I should have used another word? And if so, what word do you think I should have used? And I will see you on the next one, okay? Bye.